Hi there everyone. Today's video is aimed more at the females that watch my channel, just because we'll be talking about female hygiene, feminine hygiene and periods. If you're squeamish, you probably don't want to listen to this, but I have wanted to do this video for a long time because it's talking about how I green my period and why I chose to switch from commercialized mainstream products to more eco-friendly green products. We'll be doing in three categories. First, I'll tell you a quick story of when I got my period. Secondly, I will tell you why I decided to switch from mainstream to reusable eco products. And thirdly, stay tuned at the end because there will be a giveaway. So, I got my first period in 2007 when I was in year 8, a long time ago. And I think I just remember it was before school. I went to the toilet and I saw a bit of blood in there, and I think I may have freaked out a bit. I have heard of period before, but I didn't really know what it was. We didn't really do like sexual education till high school, so I didn't really know what it was. And I think I went to my mum and she was just like, oh, I can't exactly remember what she said. I think she was just like, oh, it's your period, you know, and just put some toilet paper in there. And because it was my first period, I think I just put some toilet paper and went into school, and I think we sorted that later. Now, when I first started my period, like most people, you probably would start using these. These are disposable throwaway pads or sanitary napkins. Now, I still use these occasionally when I'm on holiday and I can't use reusable pads. I will use disposable. So like recently we went to a convention and we just came back on Monday and my period came, and I used a Diva cup, which I'll talk about a bit later, but I also use disposable pad. Now this brand here is called Cottons, and this is there's two brands that I use, Cottons and Toms, which aren't as great as reusable, but they're still better for environment because they use organic cotton, and I know Toms are biodegradable, and this is just another brand because I ran out. So the main reason why I chose to switch from disposable sanitary napkins to reusable was because you can save a lot of money. For instance, I remember paying $8 for 16 pads, which only last 4 days. And I remember when I first had my period, I would use sanitary napkin and then I put toilet paper on top. But I used to get a lot of leakages at night time, and when I went on holiday to Taiwan, they would buy me you can get night pads which are longer and they don't tend to leak as much. But I remember when I didn't have them, I started using 2 pads, so I used one on the bottom and one on the top just to prevent leakages. I'll probably do another video a bit later on talking about my experience with periods and how I overcome it and how I used to deal with it versus how I deal with it now. But another reason why, and it's just really expensive having to buy disposables, another reason why is I just found it gross. I remember going to the toilet sometimes and you'll see the sanitary bin was full of sanitary napkins and you're there trying to throw your own sanitary napkin in there, and it's just like really gross. And the third reason why is because I found them really itchy. Like I wear them and I just itchy, and I just started to care for the environment and I just wanted a change. So it was in 2013 in September, my first year of uni, so I used sanitary napkins all throughout high school and 1 year of tape, and then in uni, like September, I decided I wanted a change. So I started looking up alternatives and something came up called reusable cloth pads. Now I didn't have a lot of money at that stage, so I decided to make my own, and I looked up how to make your own. So I'll just show you a few. So I had a pattern which I found online and I traced it out, and I used cloth, and then I would put the towel in the middle, and I made a few of my own pads. These weren't as good, they weren't as absorbent, and I remember the first time using these at uni. I had put one on and it had leaked through because I didn't have any backing. So then I decided to use backing, like here. This has a felt backing, and then I made ones like this with like this material kind of used for curtains, and then I had clip-on buttons. Now I remember when I first used cloth pads, I didn't have many cloth pads, so I only had like 2 or 3, so I still used disposables, and that was September. And I remember when I changed it in public, I just had like a plastic bag which I'll put the disposable or the reusable pad in. But if I didn't have that, I'll put it in a bag like this. But if I didn't, like, this is my own, I just use this as a wet bag or this. But if I didn't have a plastic bag, I'll just wrap it up in toilet paper and put it in one of these bags. Now 2014, the following year, I still wanted more. I didn't want pads anymore. I just don't like them. So what I decided to do is I researched even more, and I found something called a Diva cup. Now, or a menstrual cup. At first my mum wouldn't let me use these. She said it's bad to stick something up there, but I went ahead and bought one. And it took me a while to use it because I wasn't familiar with the female sexual organs, you know, and the organs, and I had never used tampons before, so I just didn't know. And it took me about 3 months to get used to it. I got it in September 2014. It wasn't till about November 2014 that, if I remember the dates correctly, I'm pretty sure, I actually knew how to do it. I remember looking in the mirror and I just couldn't get it. I didn't know where it went. It wasn't till one day in November, I was on my period, I got out a tampon and I somehow stuck it up there, and then I was so happy and I started using my Diva cup. If you don't know what a Diva cup is, I've got one here. This is a brand new one. I'm not going to show you the one I currently use, but it's basically a cup which you insert and it catches the blood, and you can use these up to 8 or 12 hours depending on your flow, and they're just reusable. And these can be an investment though, but I've had my previous one, I think I bought for about $30, and I've had it for almost 4 years. I've only just recently purchased 2 new ones just because it was starting to get a bit gross, and I was also having leakages, so I just decided to get a different size. So these cups you basically insert and you can go swimming with them, you can sleep in them, and you shouldn't have a problem with leakage. When I first started using it, I didn't get as much leakage. Now I'm starting to get a bit leakage, but I think that's because my cup is like getting a bit old and it's a bit deformed, and it's not as big as this one. I'm not going to show you the one I have right now because it's a bit gross, but yeah, these are great. They're honestly great. I started using these in 2014 and it's honestly changed my life. I also use cloth pads, which I bought. So I bought my first set cloth pads, I do believe, in 2016. I got a set of 4 pads from China off eBay, just these ones. And then I also bought a few other ones, like I bought this one. This is from an Australian brand called Aussie Monsters. And then recently, like later on in 2016, I bought a whole set off Wish, about 8 or 9 pads, and it comes with a wet bag as well, and my sister uses these. Funny thing is, when I first started using cloth pads, I used them on this side, the wrong side. When you use these, you got to use it on this side. This side is the absorbent part and this side is the backing. So these can be expensive, but I bought mine pretty cheaply. I'll insert the links below to where I got mine, because I get them a set. If you get them handmade locally, they can be more expensive. You can pay up to $8 or $12 for one pad, even $16 for the more thick absorbent night pads. But they are great because they are reusable and you save a lot of money. I haven't bought disposable pads in years, except like this year when I went on holiday, and 2016. But now when I do buy disposable pads and liners, I use Tom's or brands like Cotton's, which are biodegradable and better for an environment. I know Tom's are biodegradable, I'm not sure about Cotton's, but they're made out of organic cotton. So these are great. You just take them off and you just wash them, hang them out to dry, and you can reuse them. That's an alternative for pads if you don't want to use mainstream pads and you still want to use pads. I still use the pads as backup, just in case my Diva cup leaks. And if you really want a better alternative, it's investment, but get some cloth pads. And you can get wet bags as well, so when you change them in public you just put them into the wet bag, and when you go home you can wash them. Now if you're more of a tampon user, you can try a Diva cup, one of these. As I said before, it does take me a while to get used to using them, but now I use them like I barely get leakage even in the night time. But recently when I went on the camp I still had a pad and I put a liner on top, so I had the pad and the liner in my undies, just in case I got leakage, but I didn't have an issue with that. So with the Diva cup, it is recommended that you boil them. When you get them there will be instructions on how to boil them. I started boiling them to sterilize it after my period, but each time I did it the pan I used disappeared. So now what I do is I often change it in the bathroom, and every time I take it out in the shower I just rinse it out. It's a bit more difficult when you're on holiday. Like when I was on holiday I couldn't always use the shower, so I'll take it out, empty it into the toilet, wipe my hands, wash my hands, and then I would, if I had a shower at the end of the day, I would rinse it out. But today, because I have two Diva cups, this is from the Tulip company, the Tulip cup. They were having a promotion where you buy one and you got one for free. I'm not sure how much I paid these. They were in euros, I do believe, or pounds, one of those. Anyway, since I've got two, I decided to do a giveaway. Now this is the largest size, so this is recommended for people that are over the age of 20 and not sexually active. So this is a larger size and it's got a full stem. The one I use right now is called Mi Luna Cup, and it is slightly smaller than this, so that is why I decided to get new ones, and also because I was leaking, and the one I have now is kind of deformed, like the shape is, it's not as round as before, it's more squished, so that's probably why it's causing a bit of leakage. But I decided to give one of these cups away. Now to enter this giveaway you need to send me an email and tell me why you want to go green and you want to have an eco period. And I'll probably also chuck in maybe some Lunette sanitizing wipes or spray so you can disinfect your Diva cup on the go. Now if you live in Australia, I'm happy to send it to you absolutely free. However, if you live internationally, you live in another country besides Australia, you will have to pay shipping, just because shipping can be quite expensive. So to enter this giveaway you must be a subscriber, and then you send me an email to lifeaccordingtoemma4@gmail.com and tell me why you want to go green. Did you know the average woman uses around 10,000 to 120,000 to 12,000 disposable menstrual products in their lifetime? Pads take around 500 to 800 years to biodegrade. Menstrual cups and period underwear have less of an environmental impact. So tell me why you want to go green. Send me an email, 25 words or less, just tell me why you want to switch to eco-friendly products. Also tell me which colour you want, pink or the white one. These are brand new, they're not used, you can see they're not open. I would not use them until this competition is closed. So these are brand new, you can see it's still sealed up and they are not wrapped, they're still in the original wrapping, so I won't be using these. These only arrived on Monday. So you can choose either the pink one or the white one, but you must be over 20 years old because this is a larger size. So this competition will run until the end of the month, so it will close on January 31st. So it's really simple. I just wanted to do a quick video just to encourage you ladies out there to go green and think about using more environmentally friendly products.